Hello, good afternoon, Algebra 2 Trig Honors students. So today I want to talk about the two-way table. Okay, so we'll take a look at that. So the two-way tables, so the relationship between two categorical variables. Okay, so anytime that I see the table like this, so this one is called a contingency table. Contingency. So, and as you can see that the column here, we do have students. So writing bus, and the other one does not writing bus. Okay, so the age group here, 12 to 13. So 14 to 15, 16 to 17, and you get a total. So the joint frequencies are the counts in the body of the table. So like 24, 12, 14, 16, 13, 21. So those are called the joint frequencies. And then the one on the gray area, so this one's called the marginal frequencies. So 50, 50, and then 40, 25, 35. So those are called the marginal frequency. So find the marginal frequencies. So obviously this one's what? 72, 76, 65, 1 over 12, 40, 59. And now what about the frequency table? And this one, we can always show the relative frequencies. So simply by finding the ratios of each cell frequency to the total. To calculate the relative frequency, divide each count in the frequency table by the overall total. So right here at the end column, in the row, the intersection here, so this one's the total. So in order to convert that to the relative frequency, so basically we just divide it, each category, by 211. Okay, so basically it's just like this. So 31 over 2, 1, 1, 18 over 2, 11, 23 over 2, 11, and then the rest of that, so on and so forth. And then you come up with the decimal. And then for the total here, for the first column, then that'll be 0.53. Popularity, 0.19, the total. Sports, for the third column, the total would be 0.28. So once you combine the row here, so it's always adding up to 1. Same thing happened with that, the column. So 0.15 plus 0.09 plus 0.11, that's 0.34. 0.18 plus 0.08 plus 0.09, 0.35. And then 0.20, 0.03, 0.08, it's 0.31. And then all together, the last column, so it's always 1, 100%. So do more 10th grader choose popularity or sports? Well, obviously 10th grader, so compare those two data here. Okay, so one is what? 0.18, the other one's 0.08, so obviously choosing that. Let's see, for the sports, for the 10th graders. So convert that to percentage. So compare that to popularity in sports. It's obviously what sports, because that's 0.09. It's greater than 0.08. Okay, so now let's see what else that we have. So we talk about the relative frequency. And suppose you ask 20 children and adult whether they like broccoli. Okay, so the table shows one way to arrange the data. So the joint relative frequency, so the value in each category divided by the total number of value, shown by the shaded shell in the table. And each value is divided by 20. So the total number of individuals, so here's what you got for the following. So 0.15, 0.4, 0.35, 0.1. Okay, so once you divide it, and then 11 over 20, then that would be considered 0.55. Okay, and then the rest of this, so just convert that to percentage or decimal. Okay, so this one, find joint and the marginal relative frequencies. So again, so this one, whatever the data that you have so far for this two column, so all the data showing here, they all consider, well, this way you want to find out the marginal relative frequency. So we need to convert that to decimal first. So divide it. So we do have 0.12, 0.424, 0.544 for the total. And then one accident, so 0.032, 0.256. So basically divide each category by 125. And then we come up with this marginal relative frequency table. And then the table shows the number of books so at the library's sale. And make a table of the joint and the marginal relative frequency. So quite similar to the previous one. So basically just divide it by 210. And then using conditional relative frequency to find probability. A reporter asks 150 voters if they plan to vote in favor of a new library in the new arena, and the table shows the result. Okay, so first thing that you want to do, so you want to convert that to the frequency table. So here's what we found. So divided by the total would be what, 150 voters. So the yes, no, yes for the library or the new arena. And here's what we found. And then once you divide it, so let's see what else that we need to figure out here. So part B, if you're given that a voter planned to vote no to the new library. Okay, so the column. So voting for no to the new library. And what's the probability the voter also planned to say no to the new arena? So for the no column, so then that'll be 0.28, the intersection here, 0.28. And then over 0.48. So the people that's saying no. Okay, for both library and arena. So it's 0.28 over 0.48. So divide it, so then that'll be about what, 0.58. And the classes at the Dance Academy include ballet and tap dancing. Enrollment in these classes is shown in the table. So copy and complete the table of joint relative frequency and marginal relative frequency. So basically just divide it. And then the total that you have right here, so you just want to divide that number by the overall yes or no. Okay. And here's what we found. So if you're given that the student is taking ballot, and what is the probability that the student is not taking tap? So taking ballot. Okay, yes, yes. So that would be about 0.43. And the probability that the student is not taking tap. Okay, so taking ballot but not taking tap. So that would be 0.43 divided by 0.62. And then the percentage would be what? 0.69. So here's another one. So a company sells item in a store, online, and through a catalog. A manager records whether or not the 50 sales make one day were paid for with a gift card. Okay, so the little tally right here shows that the number. And use conditional probability to determine for which method of a customer is most likely to pay with a gift card. Okay, so the way to determine this. So again, convert that to decimal first. So probability of gift card if in store. Okay, in store, then that'd be what, 0.4. And the probability of gift card if that's online, then that is about what, 0.41. Okay, online, then that'd be 0.41. Okay, online one, so this one. And then what about the probability of gift card if by catalog? So by catalog, another method, then that'd be 0.38. And so most likely if buying online. Okay, so you want to find the higher chance, 0.41. So gift card if that's in store. Okay. So 0.4, let's see the way to figure out this number here. So why is 0.4? So this one is showing that in store is 0.12. Oh, I see. It's 0.12 divided by 0.4. Okay, so you want to divide it by the decimal right here. So 0.12 divided by 0.4. So you get 0.4. And then gift card if online. So the online one, 0.18 divided by 0.4. So it's 0.41. Doesn't make any big difference. Just slightly a little bit higher. And then gift card by catalog. So 0.1 divided by 0.4, 0.3. Okay, so now let's see what else. So here's another checkout example. So again, the tally, pass, failure. So you just want to convert that to the number and then convert that to the frequency table. Okay, let's see what the question here is. So use conditional probability to determine which is the best school here. So Al's driving school, drive time, crashes courses. So Francine is evaluating 3 driving school. She asked 50 people who attend the school whether they pass their driving test on the first try. Use conditional probability to determine which is the best school. Okay, so again, the tally mark. So convert them to the frequency table. So Al's driving has the best pass rate, about 64%. So 64% pass versus 61% for driver time and 50%. Okay, so the way that you find out this one is just like what? 0.28 divided by 0.6. So you get 64%. And then 0.22 divided by 0.6, you'll get 61%. And then for the drive time. And then the other one is for the crash course, which is what? 0.1 divided by 0.6. So that one, you'll get about what? Wait a minute, let's see. Crash time. No, this one, the way you divide it, it's by each school, okay? The pass rate versus the failing rate. So it's 0.28 divided by 0.44. Then you'll get 64%. And then 0.22 divided by 0.36, you'll get 61%. And then 0.1 divided by 0.2, you'll get 50%. So this one is just the row divided by the total in the row. So you get the percentage. So you got to be very careful with the conditional probability and find out which total that you have to use to divide it by to get the probability. Okay, so this one we talked about earlier already. Okay, so this one is just more example. Okay, so that's it. And again, make sure that you know how to convert that to the frequency table. So the marginal frequency and the relative frequency, the joint relative frequency. And once you convert that table and see what the question is asking for, so we can divide it by the total. Whether that's by the row or by the column. Okay? So I'll see you guys next time.